What's going on, everybody? Car Guy V8 here. Today we're going to see this 1978 Camaro fire up for the first time, and I could not be more excited. I've been working very hard on this car over the last couple weeks, and it's finally to a point now where I can fire it up and at least hear it run. Now, we won't be able to run it long because I don't have the radiator hooked up. I do have it, but the reason I don't have it hooked up is I'm going to have to convert to a V-belt setup. It was serpentine, but the old style clockwise rotation water pump would not bolt up to my serpentine pulley. So I'm going to have to convert it to V-belt. But this right here is my fresh 383 stroker. I installed this a couple weeks ago in the car. And turbo 400 transmission. It's not hooked up to the torque converter, but it's tilted kind of back, and the torque converter's out of the way, so we'll be able to fire it up without any worries there. Demon 625 carb, last used about a year ago to start up a big block, but most of the simple wiring is done. I've got 2 more wires to run, and we'll be able to hear it. And I'm rewiring this entire car from scratch. It's going to be super simple since it's basically a drag car. You haven't seen my setup either that I've got going on. I've got a tack, a few gauges down here, and then I've got a switch panel. Right now it's not screwed in because I'm still needing to, put wires on the back. But I do have a backing plate bracket. You can kind of see it right there that it will screw into. But we've got a bump shifter there, ratchet shifter, excuse me. Tack gauges, and we've got a simple fuse box with a relay block and all of that. This will be enough to run all the basics that I need on the car. It actually looks pretty sharp. Turned out looking pretty good in my opinion. So really all I'm going to do is run the push button starter right there to that 25 amp fuse. Each fuse location will handle 30 amps on this fuse box. The max fuse box amperage is 80 amps. So it should be plenty for what we're going to be running. And so I'm going to run this wire, goes to the push button start and down to the solenoid on the starter. And then I'm also going to run the ignition right here. So that'll run to my ignition switch right up here. You see it's loose right now, but that'll run to my ignition switch. Now I'll run the HEI distributor. So that should be all we need to get it started right now because it has a mechanical fuel pump. All right, guys, we have it temporarily mounted up to the fuse box. I know it's simple, doesn't look that good, but I've got to hear it run. I've got to know this engine is good. And I even had a bad dream the other night that I started it up and it had a stock cam. Because I don't know what cam is in it. It is indeed a 383 stroker with Vortec heads. I went ahead, we've got ignition. That controls the volt gauge, tack, and the HEI through a 20 amp fuse. I haven't tested the starter yet. I did set up the tack already for 8 cylinders. I've only got 2 grounds, and I've got my fire extinguisher right there just in case. I've got ignition off. Oh, and the transmission's not hooked up, so we don't have any worries there. Nothing. Well, this is annoying. I've been searching for a few minutes, and I have power at the fuse box going up to the switch. I have 12 volts at the starter. The only thing I haven't tested yet is the start switch. If it's bad, that's going to be annoying because this was a brand new $72 switch panel. So I'm going to take that off and test the continuity. So I took the switch out and I tested it and it was good. I checked my wiring and it turns out I don't suck at wiring after all. It actually was the switch. Who would have thought, if you spin this, you can spin this switch, there's the button I guess, and if you spin it too far in, it won't be able to push in far enough to activate the starter. With it out all the way like that. Oh man, it's so close. Okay, so here's what I've got to do. I always get so nervous starting up a brand new engine like this, thinking of all the things that could go wrong. But I want to see that we've got oil pressure. Oh. Okay, we do have a little pressure. What did I say? We spray a little carb cleaner in there. Got my fire extinguisher ready. Let's see. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. I don't know if y'all know how long I've been waiting to just hear it do that. But now I think it's got a mechanical fuel pump. Why not? If you know what I'm saying. All right, I tested out my simple fuel system, and when I did bump the timing up about 5 degrees or so. But let's see. My gas pedal isn't hooked up, so it'll probably die, but... Okay, I can honestly say I was not expecting it to fire up so easily. Oh my goodness. Hey, I think it has a little cam. It's mild. I was figuring it was mild when I saw the stock stall converter in the 700R4 that I pulled with this engine. But I think it's got a little cam to it. You can tell it's not a super high compression motor. I'd be happy with maybe 325 horse out of that 383.